Hello everybody, this is the Juicer King Matchmaker team at Home Smart. Today, I'm back at Ickens, my favorite spot, and looking at this handsome gentleman. Let's ask his name and find out more about him. May I ask your name?
Yes, my name is Matt Kahn.
And can you tell us a little bit of bio of who you are so people get to know you a little bit more?
Sure, I've been a resident of Valley Stream since 1997, a Central High School graduate. I went to college at Stony Brook and got my MBA from LIU in Management and Marketing. And currently I work for the Incorporated Village of Valley Stream full-time, and I'm an adjunct professor at Nassau Community College. And in my free time, I like to teach art, and I do have a passion for art. In fact, it's one of the earliest things I learned how to do.
What do you mean, earliest thing you learned how to do? You mean before you learned how to talk and read, or what?
No. I was always a talker. I never had a problem with that. But when I was younger, I had more of a knack for drawing and painting than I did for reading and writing and all of that stuff. So in fact, when I was a kid in social studies, we'd be learning about, the Boston Tea Party, Pearl Harbor, historical events. My notebook, I'd be drawing them. I'd be, sketching the Native Americans throwing boxes of tea in the water.
Instead of taking notes.
Instead of taking notes, my notebook was a collection of scribble scrabble and form and all of that, and that was just always me. That was how I expressed myself. That was how I communicated. And it wasn't until I moved to Valley Stream in 1997, I began ninth grade at Memorial Junior High School, and I'll never forget. It's probably one of the best moments of my life. I walked in to the art room, and I was blown away by what I saw. There were paintbrushes, acrylic paint, airbrushing, easels, and I just flourished after that because I had more media and more outlets to use to channel my creative nature. And that's when I really...
there's a reason
Yes.
why people are moving into Valley Stream, because we have a great school district.
Exactly.
And full of resources.
A lot of resources. The art program, may not get as much publicity as, the football team or the soccer team but let me tell you, art here is top notch, and the art teachers I had were really, really amazing.
That's really, really great to hear. So you discovered your art talent and you flourished after you moved to Valley Stream starting ninth grade. So what do? You said you teach art class for Village?
Yes, the Village's Recreation Department offers an adult art class now, and it's a 10-week program, 2 hours a session, so it's about 20 hours worth of training. And in that time, the students will learn basic techniques about acrylic paint. They'll learn how to do a composition on a canvas. And more often than not, a lot of my students take the class over and over and over again because I have a very unique approach to painting. I don't judge people, I don't critique, I don't tear them down. In fact, I encourage mistakes because I do believe when people are starting a new hobby, they're afraid of being judged. They don't want to be bad at it. They don't want people to laugh at them. So, I encourage mistakes and I coach them and I learn with them. We learn together. And it's a judgment-free environment because once you take away the fear factor, people are happy and they do well. And they really, when they get a good positive result, they want to continue. They want to do it a little bit more. And it's really, really positive and good to see what my students are doing.
Sounds like your class is very holistic approach.
Yes, it's very...
Your students are doing really well.
Oh my God.
Themselves. So who can take your class?
It's anyone. The adult art classes are for anyone ages 18 and above. All of the programs are listed on the Village's social media outlets on their website. And, the fee is not that much compared to other art programs, considering what you guys are going to be getting. And, Valley Stream has the best art instructor, which is me. Nowhere else has that. So
Back to con, everybody.
Big plus on that one.
And I also know that you volunteer.
Yes, I do volunteer once a month at Monica Senior Village. We do a little less formal painting. It's a 1 hour session, hour to an hour and a half, where we paint something very simple, a Christmas tree. We just did a rose last Saturday for Valentine's Day, and again, it's good for the seniors. It gives them an activity. And with a few techniques that I show them, they are surprised at what they can do with, a little bit of paint and brushes. And they tell me, Matt, I never thought I could have done this.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and in fact, during Christmas time, when we did the class in December, a lot of the seniors were gifting their paintings to some of them came out that good.
Oh.
So everyone's happy. They look forward to my visit there every month. We do it once a month.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's pretty good stuff.
It's
Art
good
keeps
to
people
hear
happy.
That your story has a happy ending. That's great.
Yes,
That's
thank
great.
you.
You really bring a lot of warmth and passion to everybody you touch.
Yes.
Classes and then Monica Village residents. And you forgot to mention you are another volunteer thing you do for the community for upcoming Central Memorial Paint Night in March.
Yes, I believe the date is sometime in March. I have to double check that.
The end
But
of
yes,
March?
I will be the instructor for that as well in March.
Yay!
That's definitely in March, yes.
All right, people, tickets only $25. I'm sorry, I'm advertising fundraising right here. This is somebody's interview. But Matthew, I want to ask you, there's one more thing you do.
Yes,
right?
it is. And it's almost totally unrelated to the visual arts. It's involved with the musical arts. I actually DJ. Who can believe that? On the outside, it seems totally unrelated to art. But, you know, what happened was a friend of mine, Frank, who owns the Valley Stream Inn, I went to his establishment last summer, and we were there late one night, and a bunch of people walked in, and a very diverse crowd, a very, very, very good group of people. And he said to me, Matt, what kind of music should I play? I said, don't worry about it. Give me my phone. Let me pair it to the Bluetooth speaker. I kept everyone there until 4 in the morning, and everyone had a good time.
Woohoo!
So I was
Frank must be happy.
Frank was very happy, very, very happy, and we were there for a while, and everyone had a blast. At the end of the night, well, beginning of the morning, I should say, Frank said to me, Matt, you ever thought about DJing? And I said, no, that's not for me. I was just using my phone. I didn't do anything special. Then later, I think a few days later, maybe a half a week later, he says, would you consider DJing? So I was like, you know what, how hard could it be?
Wow!
So-
For VSN.
Yes, for the Valley Stream Inn.
And that's how you studied DJing.
Yes, that was my first venue. That's how I started DJing.
And how long was it ago?
Only a year. Not even a year.
Okay.
So since then, I picked up with quite a few regular customers. I'm getting private parties to
Well,
do.
I heard great things about
corporate
you
events.
DJing.
Yes,
I think you've been doing it for so many years.
No, not at all. But the reason why people may think I've been doing it for a while is that tying back to what I've done with art and my gift and seeing the world very detail oriented, I was able to apply that to a different discipline. Noticing the details, learning the little ins and the outs of the, so I bought last year a mixing board, a Pioneer, a basic one, not too big, not too small. And I sat on YouTube and I taught myself all of the techniques. I learned how to beat match, I learned how to do the tempo changes, I learned how to do the pitch changes, scratching, fading, all the effects, sound levels and all of that stuff. And I taught myself one technique at a time, and I built on that technique. And very importantly, I think presentation is key, as I've learned in the art world. People are very visual. They like to see things, and when they see things, they like to come up with their own conclusions and their own opinions on what they're seeing. I mean, if I was sitting for this interview today and I had, ketchup and mustard all over my jacket, people on
We'll
YouTube
still love
will say, yeah, but I just want to make sure I don't have anything on me. I mean, that would be pretty bad into the interview. So I learned what I learned in marketing for my, my graduate studies, and I came up with a logo. I'll show you on my card. My stage name is King Khan.
How cool is that?
Yes, my last name is Khan, and it sounds kind of like the famous cute gorilla, King Kong. And the logo is a gorilla, friendly looking. He has a little beard like I do. He has a tilted crown, and he's wearing the headphones. So, I love animals. I love gorillas. I love elephants. I love tigers. But, this logo, it ties to my last name. And with the crown, it's a tribute to one of my favorite musical artists of all time, the Notorious B.I.G. In his famous photo that they called the King of New York, he's wearing a plastic crown tilted to the side. So he was one of the biggest influences in my life growing up.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah,
again,
I can tell. DJ King Khan. I love it. I love the name. It's so
yes,
catchy.
it's very catchy, and people love the logo more than they love me. Everyone wants a poster. They want a business card with the logo, a T-shirt. We'll get them all made up.
Now that I listened to your explanation about DJing and then teaching art classes and volunteering, I see what you mean by like a harmonious mix of visual and what is that? Visual and what's
And
the
the
other?
musical arts,
Yeah,
yes, the
musical
performing arts.
I
Yeah,
see
yeah.
what it is. Oh, you know what? I totally forgot to mention. I do need to mention this, Matthew, because another volunteer thing you do for Central Memorial fundraising event. What? Fashion show is coming up in May, and Matthew Kahn, everybody, is DJing. So you gotta buy a ticket. Ticket's only $50. Everything's
Yes.
included, and the great music by Matthew Kahn is going to be playing. Matthew, it was a great interview. I thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Joseph. It was a pleasure being here.